Hey, it's Ed Kaminsky from Shorewood Realtors, and we're checking in here from our offices in Manhattan Beach. It's 2012, and builders are back. They're back buying properties. We haven't seen them in years. People are asking, where have they been? I mean, everybody knows that in a downward moving market, it's really tough for builders to get in, buy property, make a profit, so they stop buying. In 2008, we saw a lot of builders losing a lot of money, and so I wanted to help you understand what is the difference between now and back then, and why are builders back. If you own a home, should you be selling your home to a builder? If you're a buyer, are you competing with these guys now? So here's the basic understanding. Builders look at what they have to pay for a property, what it's going to cost to build, and can they ultimately make a profit when they're done. Home buyers know what they feel comfortable spending, they know what properties are selling for in the area, and they have some limits of how high they'll pay for a property. So we'll talk from the seller's perspective right now. You're going to sell your property. If you had your choice and you could sell it to an end user who's going to come in and get a loan, do a home inspection, ask you to do repairs, your realtor's going to ask you to do open houses, prepare your home for sale, have people come in and out for weeks at a time in some cases, months at a time in other cases, pay them a commission to do all this, or you sell it to a builder who's going to buy it as is, no open houses, no showings, limited selling costs. You just walk away from the home in any condition. Given that choice, most sellers obviously would probably choose the easier route, provided they're going to get as much money. So how does that happen? Why is the market shifted now? Well, the builders believe today that if they buy land, add their construction costs, their financing costs, minus their selling costs, they should make a reasonable profit. In 2008, if they bought the land at what sellers were able to sell at, added construction costs, financing costs, minus selling costs, they're likely going to lose money. So how does that happen? Well, first of all, let's look at a sales price. We'll go back to 2008. An end user in 2008 would just take a basic Manhattan Beach home at $1 million. Not an uncommon price at that point for a basic 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home on a standard lot, whether it's East Manhattan, the tree section, maybe the sand section for more money. But an end user may have paid $1 million for a piece of property. The selling cost to the seller would have been about 6%, you know, typical 5 to 6% commissions, 0.5 to 1% in closing costs. It cost them about $60,000 to sell that home. They would have netted $940,000 if you sold your home in 2008 to a buyer that's going to move into that home. A builder, if they paid $1 million in 2008 and hypothetically spent $1 million in construction to build a home, plus financing costs, selling costs, their total cost would have been around $2 to $2.1 million. However, in 2008, they couldn't have sold that home for $2.1 million. Maybe they could only sell for $1.8 million, which means it doesn't make sense for them to pay $1 million. They may have been willing to pay $700,000 for it and had a potential chance of paying a profit. And even though your selling costs are way less and you net $700,000 selling it to a builder, it made more sense to sell it to an end user because they were willing to pay $1 million for that property to live in it or fix it up. 2012, it's a different story. The builders are back, they think they can make a profit, and they're back up now, willing to pay $1.1 or $1.2 million for that same property today. So let's just say they're willing to pay $1,200,000. What is an end user buyer willing to pay? The truth is today, not much more. They may be willing to pay around the same price. So if an end user buyer is only willing to pay $1.2 million for that property, the seller gets more money in this situation because of your selling costs, the fact you get to sell it as is, and we'll give you a couple examples. Selling costs, I'm going to use 1% or $12,000 to sell your home to a builder in some cases. Sometimes you're paying a commission, but you can get a builder to go up to $1.3 million. I just saw it happen. A piece of land sold for $1,300,000. Seller paid $50,000 in commissions, netted $1,250,000, but the end users wouldn't go that high. They'd only go to $1.2 million. But in this case, I'm going to just use this selling cost for a second. $1.2 million. You're looking at $1,188,000. Sell it to an end user. You got commissions, $60,000. Closing costs, $10,000. Repairs, termite work, we'll throw in another $10,000. $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Your net's $1,120,000. You're obviously making $50,000, $60,000 more selling it to a builder. So if you're a seller, you're trying to figure this out. Which one should you sell to? Which one's easier to sell to? These are the calculations you need to make and determine which one will net you more money. And if money's not the most important thing and you just want it done simply, easily, hassle-free, the builder route may make more sense. Even if you net a few dollars less, it's certainly a lot less hassle. So that's today's builder analysis. Thanks for checking in. If you have questions, just go to our website or just send me an email to ek@itsold.com and we'll see you soon. Thanks.